Just seeing if this is working. Oh, okay, yes it is. Alright. If anybody's watching this on, oh god! Hi, Audrey. Thou shalt not judge. Yeah, it's all just from book clubs that I'd been a part of. And I've been trying to go through and delete them, but you can only have like 25 or something on screen at a time. So I'll like select all and then delete them, but yeah, it's not good. But I deleted all the ones from this year and last year. So anyway, but yeah, I've been making sure that I've been going through and trying to clean up my Goodreads, and what's the word? Oh yeah, disjoined all of these. I left all these groups so that I didn't have to anymore, but get all these notifications. Anyway, it's not my fault. I'm like, if I could put like 100 on at once, it would be gone in a couple clicks. But the fact that I can only get rid of like 20 at once is like, oh god, this is gonna take forever. Anyway, I'm just trying to make sure everything's set up. I don't know what I'm doing. I haven't streamed in so long. I've been meaning to stream for a while, but the timing just has not lined up with anything. But I figured now was an okay time. But it literally took me an hour to get set up. So hopefully next time I do this, it will take less time. But yeah, I just wanted to check in, let everybody know that I'm not dead, that I could turn on a face camera if anybody cares, but I figured if nobody does care, then I don't have to do that to myself. But yeah, I'm here, I'm kicking, still struggling with my mental health, but we're making it work, and I didn't read for like 2 years straight almost, but I'm finally getting back into reading, so I'm feeling like invigorated to organize my Goodreads. And I just like really miss doing live streams and stuff because I think it's so fun, and I miss talking to everybody, but I like didn't have anything to talk about because I wasn't reading. So yeah, but I really want to get my Goodreads organized. I have been primarily, so I do prefer Storygraph as far as like stats and stuff. I do think it is much better. But I do not like their TBR system, and so I still primarily use Goodreads to like track my TBR. In 2021 you read one book. Oh, oof. Yeah, it's sad when you're like, oh, I love this so much and I'll always be a reader even when I'm not reading. And yeah, I really feel that. Like, I think, especially since I like listen to audiobooks and it's like a pretty passive thing that I can do, I can usually still get through at least like one book a month, but it's always like a reread. Like, I'm like, oh, here I am listening to Pride and Prejudice for the 8th time, or like A Room with a View. But when I'm not reading, it's usually just like rereads of books that I've read like at least 5 times before. And that's how my rating goes. Anyway, sorry, I should put that away. That was my water bottle that I'm clinking on. So Storygraph I really love because it gives you more stats. I should boost my nonfiction this year. It's a little low. I try to read at least 10% nonfiction. I don't try to, but that tends to be my stat, is at least 10% nonfiction. So I'd like that to be higher. I read mostly fantasy, and I like being able to see all of this. I've been reading a lot of manga this year. I've been doing a reread of the Yotsuba series, which has been very fun. Love being able to reread this. I reread the first 8 volumes, so it was just fun being able to see like a breakdown of stats and most read authors. And you can see like I wasn't really reading the first bit of the year. I had a spike in April when I read all the Ryotsuba books. I'm like, ooh, I read a lot. Was dipping back down, and then had a huge boost where I read 14 books in June. And that doesn't even include DNFs. And then I read 13 books in July. So I'm reading a ton again. And I don't think I've put all my... these are not accurate. I'm not good at putting my ratings into Storygraph, so I definitely want to get better at that as well. But I love my stats on Storygraph. But Goodreads is for the TBR. So what I've been doing... I don't know if I should start off like talking about... Do you want me to start off talking to... Audrey, you're the only one here, so you get a say, but I know people will be watching this in like a replay probably. I don't know if you want me to talk about what's going on the last 2 years, an update about what's happened in the last 2 years since I did my last live stream, if you want an update about my health and mental health and everything that's happened first, or if you just want me to just dive in on this and I can sprinkle in as I go. What should I do? But I've literally never heard of Bookmori. That seems like work though. I like that you can just like... Unless it is just like the reading tracker. Look at how how low the Goodreads rating is. Goodreads app sucks. I do not use the Goodreads app ever. I hate Goodreads. Okay. Yeah, that... I mean... Yeah. This seems like more work. I always like put everything in after the fact. So I'm like, something like this wouldn't work for me. But if you're like on top of it and all together, I think that does make sense. You can see what you've like read each day and stuff, which I think is really cute. I wish something like that did work for me, but it definitely would not. I'm very sporadic with my reading. I'm currently reading, I think, just 3 books right now, but I tend to read a lot of books at once, so for a while I was pretty monogamous when the last couple years, but I'm back to being sporadic again. Yeah, so we are living across the US now, so we've moved from the East Coast to the West Coast, which has been really good. Let me get off of this, sorry. Like, it's distracting me. So we ended up moving like a year and a half ago, and it has been, it's been good. I grew up in California Yeah, we moved all of our books. All 2,000 plus books came with us. We did do a bit of an unhaul before we moved, but we still have many, many books. And, yeah, everything has been good. I would say, like, the main thing is that I am still looking for a job. So that has not been good. And I realize that it is a major privilege that I've been out here for a year and haven't had to work. But also I had a really bad health thing. Like, not a really bad health thing. I was having really bad migraines when I first moved out here, so I wouldn't have even been able to work for probably the first like 6 months because I was like pretty much bedbound. But then, yeah, since then I've been looking for jobs. I've had many job interviews and applying to like everything that we see. But yeah, I just really hoping to get a job, and that's pretty much been it. Is that, yeah, just looking for that. But yeah, all our books are out here, all of everything's out here, and it's been so good. Like, the difference of living in California versus like Massachusetts has been crazy. Like, we love it so much. It's so beautiful out here. I mean, not that it wasn't beautiful in Massachusetts. We just didn't like our living situation. And like out here, we like are more inclined to like leave the house and go places. And I don't know, like we just went to a outdoor like botanical garden last Sunday, and I don't know, it's just like no more snow, which is so nice. It's like we don't feel like trapped anymore. We felt very trapped in our house. I say our house, like we lived in it was like a 2-story house that we lived in, and we lived on the top floor. We like rented the top floor from someone. So it was like a house slash apartment. It's not like we owned a house. It was like we were renting. So essentially it was like apartment size, but so I go back and forth between calling it a house and apartment, but we felt very trapped. And it's like, whenever we left, like a lot of times our landlord was like lurking down there and then would like constantly like try to talk to us, and he was a raging bigot, so it was like very tough sometimes. And our house also constantly like reeked of cigarette smoke because he would smoke inside, and he was on the first floor and we were on the second floor, which also really triggered my migraines. And our bathroom like constantly smelled like cigarette smoke there, and like there were like positives of living there. Why we like didn't move was like because the rent was really low and it was just like convenient. But we were so glad to move, and like we just like stop and like stare at each other, and we're just like, we can't believe we live in this beautiful apartment here because it's so good. Like, we have enough room, it doesn't feel cramped, everything fits. So we're lucky in that, but we're like, also everything's not old and gross and breaking down and reeks like cigarette smoke. And yeah. So anyway, it's just been good out here, and I feel like I can leave my house without getting like jumped on. And he would like often try to talk to me when I was like leaving for work, and it would like induce like panic attacks and like make me late to work. And I was just like, what are you doing? And like all these things. And it's like, I don't know, it's just been really nice out here. But yeah, the main thing is just like really trying to find a job, which I have been like really trying to find a job. I just had another interview last week. I had like 3 interviews in July, I think. But yeah, I've been having a lot of interviews, or a good amount of interviews, so we'll see. But everything's, yeah, the living arrangement has definitely improved, and yeah, things like that have been good. Yeah, we love it a lot here, and we did leave a lot of our like crappier like furniture and stuff behind, and we were able to get some stuff when we moved out here. So like we have a beautiful couch here now, and I don't know, we bought some like new bed linens when we moved out here because like we had like a really thick comforter, so we needed something new when we moved out here because we would have like literally died. I am closer to my family. Like, I'm still not super close, but yes, I've seen them many times since moving out here, which has been so nice. Like, I'm still like a good 6 to 10 hours from most of them driving, but like, I've seen like all of them have come down to visit me at least once. Except for one of them. And then also, I've been up to visit some of my family already 4 times, I think. 3 or 4 times. Just in the past year. So it's like, just since like October. So like, yes, I've seen them so much more, where it's like I would go like a year to like 3 years without seeing them before. So yeah, it's been really good, and we still have been able to see Chris's family because he's we got a card through an airline, so we try to make most of our purchases on there, and then we just pay all of it off, so that we like rack up as many points as we can, and then like we're able to go out there for holidays and stuff with points. So that's how we've been making it work, and it's been working out that we've been able to see them I think twice since we've come out, so that has been good. And we also saw them like once, like right before we came out as well. So we're really close to Disneyland. We're super close to Disneyland. We've gone well over a dozen times. We have passes. We were able to get passes at the end of the fall when they opened up tickets. And we've gone many, many times. We have I've never posted about it online because I wasn't posting when it happened or whatever, or I don't think I've posted about it online. Maybe I have. But my sister crocheted us both like, I don't know, probably like 40 pairs of ears, just like for sillies. She was like, I just wanted to make you lots of ears. Like, this was like 2 years ago. And so we have endless ears, and we haven't been able to wear them all yet. Yeah, so we've gone a lot. We try to go a couple times a month, which is fun. I mean, that sounds so silly to say, like, oh, it's fun. But, like, it's really nice. Like, we try to go, like, once or twice a month where we get to go and we'll have, like, dinner there and then just ride a few rides. And then we're done. And it's just, like, it's nice because I'm like, Chris has never, like, I've gotten to have that experience more, like, growing up, where it's like I got to go on chill days growing up, and because I grew up like an hour from Disneyland, and had annual passes growing up, that like I would have days where the like we wouldn't do a lot and we would just relax and like be more chill about it. But Chris has never had that before. He's only had those like trying to cram everything in kind of days. And so it's been really nice. Like, it's been such a mind shift even for me though, because I haven't had those in so long. Like, I haven't had an annual pass since I was 16. So over 10 years, and actually almost 15 years. And so the mindset shift of like, we can just go and get some food, and we each choose one ride that we really want to do that night, and then if we have time for like one or two more, we will, but like we don't sweat it, and it's just is what it is. And like it has been really fun and very, very good. But especially the first few times we went, we still really overdid it because we were like just still trying to cram everything in for no reason, when we're like, oh yeah, we could literally come back like next week if we wanted to. Like, there's no reason to cram everything in. But yeah, it has been so fun. It's been really good. And one of the pairs of ears my sister made me wear, like these like pumpkin ones, like Mickey jack-o'-lantern ones, and we got passes in November, so I'm really excited to pull those out because they're going to be putting out all the Halloween stuff, and I'm like, yes. I'm excited to be a Halloween person. So anyway, it's been really good. I've still been struggling a lot with, like, I don't know, like, I still have been struggling a lot with, like, my mental health, especially, like, since January, just with, you know, the state of the United States has been really rough, and just the state of the world in general and stuff, but I'm in a very lucky position, and it's also very good to have like a partner who is so supportive and so kind and so generous and gracious, and he's just the best. We ended up going, like I said, to that botanical garden on Sunday, and it was like the most fun day because we were just like spending time just like pointing out things to each other and making jokes and just having a fun time. And it's just like going there on my own would have been really fun, but going with like your best friend is like just, I don't know, it just fills me with a lot of joy and gratitude. And yeah, Chris is a whole green flag. I don't know, he doesn't understand how great he is, which is crazy to me. But yeah, and everybody who meets him loves him, which is also another whole green flag. Like, my whole family is like, oh my gosh, he's the best, we love him so much, he's incredible. So yeah, yeah, it's just, yeah, but yeah, it's like my mental health has been up and down, but I think it would be so much more down if I wasn't out here. So anyway, shall we talk about books? And I can keep talking about other stuff if you want. That was like 20 minutes of just moving and shit. Okay. So what I've been doing is, I did make this new one because the autumn equinox Aurelium thing came out, which I'm hoping to do next month. But here are the other things. So I was thinking that I think it would be fun to read all my old books. So if you see here, my my oldest book on my TBR is from September 2009, which, you know, is over 15 years ago, and I still haven't read it, which is a little silly. And it's just, yeah, I've had my Goodreads since 2008, so there are books that have been on here for a whole heck of a long time. And so I'm gonna work. I think the way to keep this, because I also do like mess around with the position number all the time. So I think the way to organize stuff best is to organize it by the date added, to like just keep everything going by date added, because that will never change. And I already started doing this a few weeks ago, but then I don't know, I haven't done too much. But I have a couple things. So I kind of was starting to think about what genres I read, and I didn't want to like subgenre it out too much, because I could be like, well, I read both high fantasy and low fantasy, and I read mysteries and thrillers and I don't know, XXX, and I read like, I'm like okay to lump things together kind of generally. I kind of wanted to just like get basic genres, but also split things to kind of work for me. So these are the genres that I came up with, was classics / like a catch-all for fiction, fantasy, all fantasy, historical fiction, horror. This isn't a genre, but I thought it'd be fun to like also categorize the things that were LGBTQIA. Mysteries / thrillers / like crime, like all of that can go in there. It'll mostly probably be mysteries though. I have 2 nonfiction categories. So the main one is the nonfiction science nature. So if I read a science or nature nonfiction, and then the nonfiction other if they don't fit into that category. Romance and sci-fi. So these are my genres. So it's like 9 genres, and then the extra like, is it gay? I thought would be fun. And the extra added benefit of this, so I do a lot of cross stitch. I chose projects to fit for all of these, and as I read books that fit these, I have been doing stitches into specific projects. So there is like an extra layer of this, but maybe I'll get into that later. And then I have 4 extra things, so autumn, spring, summer, winter. And I thought it would be fun to kind of like put the vibe in, because I am a vibe reader. Like, I can read a book any time of the year, but sometimes I'm just like, oh, it's summer. I'm such in the mood for a summer book. And then I thought it'd be fun to be able to be like, let's just look in the summer genre and see like what summery books. So I can do a rundown of the ones that I already like went through, but basically everything that are older books on here are gonna be either classics or like fantasy from like 2010 and earlier, or 2014 and earlier, like older fantasy, and young adult from like the 2000s, 2010s. That's what's going to be the oldest stuff on my TBR. I'm learning. And as I've been going through, I've also been like really ruthless, like, why is this on my TBR? Do I still want this to be on my TBR? And I've been deleting stuff. Like, I deleted A Discovery of Witches because My Name is Marina's convinced me not to read it. So if you see anything and you're like, I don't think you'll like that, maybe I'll delete it. I don't know. I deleted I deleted a Discovery Witches just because actually I've heard multiple people talk about how they just like find the power dynamic in that like very icky, and then a lot of people have like, I don't know, just like said things about it that just made me feel like, ugh, I probably won't like that. I was like, do I want to read it even? And I've been trying to talk to myself and think about like, do I want to read this or do I feel like I should read this? And I even deleted some of the Bronte books that were on here as well. I don't know which ones. Okay, well it wasn't an Anne book. What did I delete? Oh, I deleted Villette and The Professor. Both of those were on my TBR and I deleted them, but I kept Shirley because Shirley actually sounded good to me. I think Shirley has lots of descriptions of like fairies and like magical beings and is like maybe a little bit more like could appeal to me, where Villette just sounded fucking depressing. But as I've been like deciding whether or not I want to keep something on my TBR, I've also been like looking at the specific books and see. Okay, yeah, you've heard that too. Yeah, I heard multiple people say it and I was just like, no, I don't want that. So I've been very specific about whether I want to keep stuff. And I've been trying to choose a book like every week that has been on my TBR for over 10 years to try to read. Has it been working? No, but I've been trying. So anyway, I've kept a tenant of Wildfell Hall. I thought that it was autumn and winter vibes. It's classic and it's also a romance. And the way that I'm getting those genres is I'm just clicking on it and I'm kind of seeing what comes up in the first tags. So it's classic romance. I didn't make gothic a tag because I don't think I'll be reading enough gothic stuff that it needs its own subgenre. I did think about it though. Sometimes I love gothic stuff, sometimes I don't. Anyway, so I've categorized the first 30 books. I've done more than that, but I deleted them or read them. Yeah, I don't know if you want me to read them out and read all the things. If you want to look at my Goodreads, it's linked in the description. But I'm going to make a point to really be trying to read these books. And I'm also not opposed to DNFing them, to just yeeting them. And I don't physically own all these books. That's not what my TBR means to me. This is just books that I'm interested in reading. And even in the first 30 books, that already gets us to April of 2014. Okay, so page 2. This is kind of where I got a little stuck on the gunslinger, because I can't decide if I should delete this or not. I think if there's a Stephen King book that would appeal to me more, maybe The Gunslinger would be it, because it's fantasy, sci-fi, and I've been really into horror recently. But also Stephen King is like notoriously a very I don't know. It just has a lot of like questionable stuff in his books. I don't know how to say that. And with the Dark Tower series specifically, I've heard that they don't really get good until a certain amount of books in. And it's a long series, 7 books long, and they're long books. Like book 7 is like, 1,000 pages long. So, and people tend to say that the first book is by far the worst, which you can see by the ratings. The ratings for book 1 are significantly by far the worst, and then all the rest of the books have very good ratings. So is it worth at least trying the first book? And if I like it, I can give it a go. But then if I don't like it, I can just DNF it. So should I just give it a try? Or should I just cut my losses before I even try it? That's kind of where I've been sitting with it. Because I'm not really interested in most of Stephen King's work. I think this is like probably the only Stephen King book I have on my TBR, to be honest. Oh, no, also 11/22/63. But I think these are the only two. And I've read Firestarter by him. But I don't really have many things. I'm not really interested in Stephen King personally. Maybe eventually in the future. I'm not saying that I'm writing him off as an author entirely. I'm just saying he's not somebody I'm interested in right now. But anyway, so that's where I'm sitting with him. I guess I can always just add them and then sexualizing minors in a story. I've heard about that with some books in particular, like It and stuff. I don't think this one does that, but I don't know. And like I said, I can always start reading it, and if I decide to dip, I can. So I think I'll just do it, and I can always delete this at any point. Like, by adding it, I'm not deciding to keep it forever. So it's fantasy, horror, science fiction. And I also don't know if it's actually horror or if it's not. That's something I was trying to look into. And I guess this gives me more like fall vibes. But then people were saying it does have like a horror-esque vibe. But I don't know if they're just saying that because it's Stephen King. I kind of don't believe it. Yeah, I don't know. That's definitely what part of the reason why I haven't been interested in Stephen King is, yeah, because of that. And like I've heard the way he also talks about women and the way he talks about people of color and like all sorts of things. It just hasn't been a can of worms that I've wanted to touch as much. But I mean, I've read one of his books and that one was okay. That one had a kid in it. The kid was the main character and I didn't feel like she was sexualized. But I also read it a long time ago, so don't quote me on that. Dance of Cloaks by David Daglish. This one was really popular on BookTube many years ago. And Thren Fellhorn is the greatest assassin of his time, marshalling the Thieves Guild under his control. He declares war against the Trifect, an alliance, an allegiance of wealthy and powerful nobles. Aaron Fellhorn has been groomed since his birth to be Thren's heir. Sent to kill the daughter of a priest, Aaron instead risks his own life to protect her from the wrath of his guild. In doing so, he glimpses a world beyond poison daggers and the iron control of his father. Guilds twist and turn, trading alliances. Is that how you spell alliances and I just didn't know? Okay, I feel stupid. For survival, the trifecta of weaknesses is reputation broken. It's money dwindling. Allegiances. Okay, it is. Allegiances for survival. Sorry, my brain is just not working. It's money dwindling. Hello. How are you doing? Thank you for popping in. I like that you have a dinosaur. Okay, sorry. The players take sides in the war. Blah 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 blah. Doesn't that sounds really boring? I think I'm going to delete that. None of my friends have rated it highly. That sounds really boring. I guess it was one of the Sword and Laser books, which is maybe why it was on my radar to begin with. But I couldn't give less of two shits about it, so. Sorry. I'm going through my TBR and I'm categorizing stuff and deleting stuff. And if you have opinions, let me know. I really want to... Oh my gosh, I didn't mean to pull you up, put you on blast like that. I'm sorry. I was just trying to see your... Do you say that Allie? Allie Stegosaurus? I was just trying to see your profile picture better because it's so cute. I love that you're wearing a little, like, dinosaur hoodie. A little Stegosaurus hoodie. It's so cute. I love it. Okay, sorry. I was just trying to see your profile picture better, and it pulled it up in the tab that I was in. I'm sorry. Okay. Okay, sorry, just a second. Okay, yeah. Did you change your picture too? Because I don't remember this picture either, but that could also just be me being stupid. Well, thank you. I know. I remember when I finally changed my picture on here, like, after, like, 10 years, and I was like, it's gonna be weird, but I gotta do it, because that picture of me is from when I was, like, 16. I have to change it. I'm, like, 28 now, and now I'm, like, 30, so it had to be done. Choosing something that's, like, less recognizably your face is smart. You can keep it for longer. But every time I saw that picture of me, I just cringed. A friend you for you. Oh, it's so cute. I love it. This is adorable. Oh. Okay, I don't even know. Oh, I have to open it to get the stats. I was like, I don't even know why I'm opening City of Stairs because I already know I want to read this. Oh, I didn't know it was a mystery. See, that's why it's good to open it. City of Stairs, I'm so down to read. I really loved, like, the lock. Oh no, did I ruin the size? No, it's okay. I really loved the Lock Foundry Side series. Why was I saying Lock? Oh, Lock Lens is the third book. I really loved Foundry Side. I'm shocked that The Tainted Cup is more popular. It just came out. Whatever. Foundry Side is great. I've been wanting to read this for a long time. So it's fantasy, mystery, and science fiction. Really? I'm kind of surprised by that. That's okay. Either way, I want to read it. And if I read it and I don't agree with it, that's fine. I can change my minds. I don't think this gives me any sort of particular vibe, so I'll just put it in all the categories. Okay. To be 30 again. Oh. It's still on your still on my TBR by you should read it. It's really good. I liked it a lot. I don't know. I think that there is a... I've read it a couple times now, and every time I read it, I'm like loving it so much. And then I'm like, why didn't I rate this 5 stars? It's so good. And then I get to the end, or near the end, and then I'm like, oh yeah, that's why I didn't rate it 5 stars. But it's still really good. And yeah, I've read it twice now. And now it's been so long that I'll probably want to read it again because I never read the third book. I think the romances in this what's holding me back from a full 5 stars. It's so underdeveloped that I struggle with it and wish it had only been hinted here and it progressed more in book 2. And I agree with that. Because of, yeah. You should read. You should read it. Wait. Wait just a second. Okay, yeah, I'm stupid. Cool. Awesome. That took me like 8 years to figure out. Okay. Okay. Oh. Okay. Yeah, you should read Found Yourself. It's really good. And I did really like the second book a lot, but I need to reread both of them to read the third book now, which is kind of sad, but that's okay. I mean, I really liked them, so it's totally fine. But it's just like, oh, if I just read series quickly and didn't let them languish for 5 years, then it would be fine, and everything would be fine. Okay, let's look at Green Rider. This book, oof, it's young adult? No, I didn't know that. Oof, that makes me not want to read it. Young heroine Kerrigan hardly has time to regret being expelled from school for dueling before finding herself committed to the desperate errand of a murdered Green Rider. The Green Riders are an elite messenger corps using both horses and magic. The message is a terrible warning. Bad things from bad places are invading this fantasy land, their presence being only part of a devious, sorcery-aided human struggle for the throne. Kerrigan's wild ride is bested by a variety of enemies, but aided by her own developing talents, plus certain strange allies. These include the tormented ghost of a dead Green Rider himself, still pierced by and trying to resist the chief villain's black arrows that ensnared the soul. Delivering the message to a suspicious court is only half of Kerrigan's job. Can it be interpreted in time? was thinking, so this is not books that are on my physical TBR. These are just books that I've added to Goodreads. Chris and I have another separate, like, co-shared Goodreads where we just add books that we own, but we also got rid of stuff without fully purging that. And what I think I'm going to do for that is that I'm going to go through, probably how I'll do it is I'll do a batch edit. So firstly, what I'll do is I'll make per pages 100, and then I'll batch edit, do select all, and add everything to one single shelf. And then I'll go through that shelf and I'll remove books from that shelf. So I'll go into that shelf and I'll remove books from that shelf that I have. So I'll like go through shelf by shelf and I'll remove the books from that shelf, and then whatever's left, I'll go through and do a batch edit and remove books from all shelves to get rid of everything. I think is what I'm going to do. But that is something for another day when I have a lot more time and energy and I'm using the laptop to move around and stuff. This is not books that I own. I own some of them by happenstance, but happenstance, but these are just books that I've added to my TBR a long time ago. Does this sound generic and boring as fuck, or what? I don't know. Do I want to read this? What have my friends said? Have any of my friends read it? Oh, Kitty DNF'd it at 130 pages. It was slow and predictable. But her attitude wasn't for me. This person loved it. Do I trust you, though? You've only... I don't know. What else have you rated 5 stars? Have you rated anything good 5 stars? I think you've rated a lot of bad things 5 stars. Oof. Oh. Allie. Okay. Sorry. As I said, I think she rated a lot of bad things 5 stars. Sorry, just calling out this random person. Yeah, I don't think I trust your judgment, lady. It's flat. No. A bad Tolkien ripoff for girls. Yeah, I think it's probably not worth reading. Like, it would maybe be fine. Yeah, I think you're probably just as bad at finishing series as me. Or maybe even worse, who knows. I don't think any of us are good at finishing series. Remove from my books. R.I.P. And I think I actually do own this one, so I can unhaul it. To be fair, I did buy it when I was like 19. And if I'd read it when I was 19, I probably would have liked it when I was 19. But An Old-Fashioned Girl. The title doesn't sound promising, does it? But it's an Alcott. Polly's friendship with the wealthy Shaws of Boston helps them to rebuild a new life and teaches her the truth about a relationship between happiness and riches. I wonder if a different edition has a better, oh yeah, different description. I think I need to also go through, I have this next in series shelf, 143, which means I'm currently reading 143 series. I think I need to go through and decide to DNF like half of those series. It was first serialized in the Mary's Museum magazine in July and August 1869, and consisted of only 6 chapters. For the finished project, however, Alcott continued the story from the chapter 6 years afterward, and so it ended up with 19 chapters in all. Oh, she added a shit ton. The book revolves around Polly Milton, the old-fashioned girl who titles the story. Polly visits her wealthy friend Fanny Shaw in the city and is overwhelmed by the fashionable and urban life they lived, but also left out because of her countrified manners and outdated clothes. Oh. Okay. So it's not like old-fashioned ideals. It's like old-fashioned, okay, yeah. It's like from where she grew up. Okay. Diana read it. She liked it. Oh, it's a favorite from the author. She liked it in her late 20s. I was almost in my late 20s. I think I'll probably try reading it. Holy sermonizing Batman. Inspires morality among wealthy Bostonians. If you can get past the preaching, the story has its charms. I don't know. I do often enjoy I do often enjoy what am I trying to say? Classics? I do enjoy classics, but I don't know if I like Louisa May Alcott that much. I have read Little Women. I don't have it rated because I did like it when I was a teenager, but then I tried to read it as an adult and I did not like it as an adult and I gave up. I read Eight Cousins as a kid and I enjoyed it, and I read Rose and Bloom and I didn't really enjoy it. I tried to reread Eight Cousins as an adult and it freaked me the fuck out. I was like, what the fuck is this premise? It's like very odd and incestuous. And then I also read maybe I haven't read it yet, her fairy book. Flower Fables I want to read. So I don't know if Louisa May is the writer for me, but I think this is maybe the only other like older book that I'm interested in by her, and besides that it's just the Flower Fables. So maybe it's worth trying, but if it's all like preachy and shit, maybe it's not worth trying. I don't know. I do own it, but I also probably bought it for like $1 at a thrift store, so I wouldn't really feel that bad getting rid of it. It sounds kind of tedious. And I just find Louisa May Alcott a very interesting person. I think she worked very hard, and I think she was taken advantage of by her father. I think maybe I'll keep it on the TBR and try it, but I think I'm very willing to DNF it if it freaks me out. I guess I'll put it in classics and romance. I'm not going to put it in historical fiction because it's not historical fiction. I think it's contemporary, but it's just set historically now. But if I'm wrong about that, I can change it. Oof. Okay, let's see how this one goes. This has been on my TBR for so long, and I do not remember what it's about. Oh, another Boston book. I swear, every book is set in Boston. Every author is from Boston. I didn't know they wrote another book after this series. And I do own this one as well. She's away. Oh, I didn't put this in a season. It seems like a spring summer book, you know? She has only seen the world through maps. She has no idea they were so dangerous. Boston, 1891. Sophia Timms comes from the family of explorers and cartographers who, for generations, have been traveling and mapping the New World. A world changed by the Great Disruption of... Oh, okay. I was like, why are we calling it the New World? Oh yeah, it will take me weeks. It will take me a long time, and especially longer if I'm reading them out. But I think that's like the joy of it, is that we can like learn about all these old books. It will be fun. And then if any of you have any insights or weigh-ins, you can give them, and if not, you can just listen to me talk. Whatever you want to do. Or if you think this is boring and you don't want me to stream it, I totally won't. The date Great Disruption of 1799, when all the continents were flung into different time periods? What the fuck? 8 years ago, her parents left her with her uncle Shadrach, the foremost cartographer in Boston, and went on an urgent mission. They never returned. Life with her brilliant, absent-minded, adored uncle has taught Sophia to take care of herself. Then Shadrach is kidnapped, and Sophia, who has rarely been outside of Boston, is the only one who can search for him. Together with Theo, a refugee from the West, she travels over rough terrain and uncharted ocean, and encounters pirates and traders, and relies on a combination of Shadrach's maps, common sense, and her own slantwise powers of observation. But even as Sophia and Theo try to save Shadrach's life, they are in danger of losing their own. That sounds fun. From my time in New England, it often feel like a literary city considering its past. I don't know about Boston in particular, but like all of Massachusetts was like so literary. It's like everything, like it's so many writers live there, so many like yes, so many so many writers live there, so many books are set there, so many, like, everything author and writer is, like, Massachusetts in general. I didn't specifically live in Boston, but yeah, like, just New England in general, but, like, specifically Massachusetts. Like, if you keep your eye out and, like, read, like, author back covers and everything, like, fucking everybody lives in Massachusetts. It's really weird. Also, hi, thanks for stopping in, Lindsay. Yes, it does, and I have the hardcover of this. It has the, like, how do you even say that? Like, the, like, I don't, not vinyl. What do I want to say? Not vinyl. Ugh. The vinyl's not the word. It starts with a V, though. It's like this, like, sheer... It's like a parchment paper, but it's, like, harder than that, though, I thought. But yeah, you can kind of see it slid up right here, though. But what's the word I'm looking for? Vinyl is not the word, but it starts with a V. Vellum. Is vellum the word? A membrane or membranous structure. Yeah, it's like a vellum. Yeah, it's vellum. It totally is. I don't know why vinyl was the word coming to word, but it's a vellum that it is, and it's, like, really cool. It gives a very cool effect. That's why you read it, but you still, that's why you bought it, but you still haven't read it either. Yeah. You guys thought I was stupid, but I knew the word vellum. It came to me. But yeah, Massachusetts in general is just so... It's like the hub of authors. It's so interesting. And I didn't even realize it until I moved there. And then all of a sudden I saw it everywhere. And I could never unsee it. Okay. This actually sounds pretty awesome for a young adult book. I don't know about that name, Shadrach. Kind of makes me feel a little religiously traumatized. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. The real ones, no. But fantasy, historical fiction. Cool, awesome. I'll give it a try. That kind of reinvigorated my interest in reading it. You definitely didn't know the word. I was just... Yeah, I definitely did know the word. I don't know why. I knew it started with a V. It just took me a while to get there. And it's... I feel like it feels like an all-time read as well, too. I feel like I could read this any time of the year and it would, like, be good. The Golem and the Genie. I really need to read this. This got recommended for me to read by Kara from Wild Book Garden, and I never read it, and I feel like a betrayer McTrader who stabbed her in the back, and I'll never forgive myself until I read it, and I haven't read it yet. So anyway, I was trying to look for her review, but Kara, where's your review? Oh, here it is. Kara recommended it to me. Shout out to Kara. Brilliant lady. I love her. And yeah, anyway, she recommended this book to me specifically, and then I never read it. So I don't even have to read what this one's about. I know I definitely want to read it. And it feels like a winter book to me. So I'm not even going to read it, but it's fantasy and historical fiction. Sick. See, that one didn't take long. Oh, I don't think I messed with anything, did I? Oh, no, did I? Oh shit, what did I just do? Did I delete it? Oh no, I didn't. Okay. What just happened? What just happened? Okay, I don't know why that happened. Fantasy, historical fiction, and it feels very wintry. And like obviously I can read them outside of these times, but like if I do want to like look at a fall shelf or summer shelf or like a blah blah blah, then I can. And then if I don't want to, then I don't have to. But I think it will just like help me and stuff. And then it also helps me like know what's on here. And like books can be in multiple categories and stuff too. I love doing that. Okay, this book I just put on my... Oh, I know what I did. Well, this book I just put on my autumn equinox TBR, Afterworlds. I do remember what this is about, sort of, but also I sort of don't. So we'll see what it's kind of about. It's, I do remember it's LGBT. And y'all should be so proud of me for adding an LGBT book in 2024 when I hated gay people. I knew it was LGBT and I still added it because I was like, it sounds so good that even though it's gay, I'm still gonna add it. I'm gonna try not to be a big bigot. Anyway. A lot has changed. But for my autumn equinox TBR, here's a peek at it. I did add Afterworlds because I got the fucking 6 die, so I need to find a really thick book, and I thought this would be a nice one. But now I'm like, if 50% of the things I read are not LGBT in some way, I'm disappointed. So a lot can change in 10 years. If you too have a bigot in your life, you can hold out hope that they will change. Afterworlds. So I'm definitely going to give this a try next month, is my hope. But it's like told in like 2 different sections. It's like the book that the author's writing, and then the author's story herself or something. In a brilliant high-wire act weaving 2 epic narratives and 2 unforgettable heroines. Anyway. It really caught my eye back in the day. Did it say that there's a new... What is this cover? What is this? Imposters? I'm just confused what this is. I want to see what this is. Oh, it's not new. It's old. I was like, is this a new Uglies book? But no, it's old. Okay. Anyway. And it's not that I hated gay people, to be clear. I know I'm making a joke of it. I'm like, I didn't hate gay people. It's just I've been told my entire life, for those 19 years up until that point, was told my entire life constantly by my church and everybody in my family. And I didn't go to school, so I was told by literally every single person that I ever knew and met up until that point in my life that gay people were allowed to exist. They just shouldn't act on their feelings or they'd go to hell. I think it was valid that I was scared of them a little. But I broke out of that mindset. Never you worry. Okay. Fantasy. Romance. LGBT. Cool. Why is it getting stuck? There we go. I don't know what this feels like to me. I feel like it could feel like all time, but I'm definitely reading it next month, or DNFing it next month, or something. The list I keep pulling up? What list? This list? Is this the list you mean? Let me know if this is the list that you mean. Say yes if this is the list you mean. If that's not the list you mean, say... Oh, okay. This is my Aurelium Autumn Equinox 2025 TBR because it starts next month. So this is my tentative TBR. Oh, you heard 20... Wait. Did you think I hated gay people till last year? Is that what you're saying? No, 2014. I might have said 2024 by mistake. 2014, I added it to my TBR when I was still afraid of gay people. I remember very vividly. I don't remember what book it was, though. It might have... I don't know. I don't remember what it was, but I remember vividly in 2013 when I very first started my YouTube channel, my booktube channel, and I almost said this on my booktube channel, and I was like, just so you know, there's a gay person here if you don't want to read about it. But then I was like, I don't want to get reamed by people, so I didn't say it. Because I was like, I don't want to read about gay people. That's wrong and immoral. Anyway, no. I have not thought that way in a long time. But it took me a long time to get out of that because I was like, I literally had zero exposure until around queerness. Until I was like, literally like, I don't know, like 20 at least. It took me a while. Like I was raised in a very ultra religious household. I went to church every Sunday and Tuesday and sometime other days of the week, and I didn't have any interaction besides like ultra religious people, and didn't get to interact with people who weren't also ultra religious, and I just didn't... It was like, we don't hate gay people, we just don't think they should allow to be happy, you know? I'm like, oh yeah, of course, that makes sense. And like I didn't end up getting to like, my family had like parental like locks on the internet, so it's like I was not allowed to get on the internet without like parental permission. They'd like unlock the internet for me to be able to like research something for like writing a paper or something, and then they would like lock the internet again and like things like that. Like I lived in a very like strict information household where like we need to control everything you think and feel. So I'm like, I do give myself a lot of grace for like my thoughts before the age of like 18 when I finally got like my first smartphone and was able to like, I bought my first laptop, I got my first smartphone, and like was able to start getting information. But then even then it still took me 3 or 4 years to start like really start expanding my worldview. It took a while. it did take a while, so I definitely didn't get there perfectly, but I give myself so much grace before that because I'm like, what was I supposed to know better? Because I grew up in a cult. Anyway, But yeah, no, 2014. And I'm like, that just shows how interesting I thought this book sounded. Because I was like, the character's a lesbian. In 2014, when I was 19, I added this and I was like, the character's a lesbian. But it still sounds really good. When like only less than a year before this, I almost said on my YouTube channel, if you don't want to read about gay people, don't read this book. So even in a year, I had already gotten a lot of growth without even realizing it, that I was willing to consider reading a book about a gay person. So like, it's just, yeah, it's cool to even consider that, even though I was still ultra bigoted at this point. Anyway, I got there eventually. And that's what I'm saying, like, people can grow. It's good. Anyway, this is my Aurelium TBR, my tentative Aurelium TBR, but it's very likely to change. So this first column is my like first choice books, and then the second column are like books that I could swap in if I like DNF the first books, or sometimes there's like books that like could fit for like mini challenges, etc. And then it kind of like, or if like this one, generate a random country 5 times and then pick a book from one of those locations. One of the places I got was Malaysia, and I was like, oh my gosh, there are so many books by Malaysian authors, and so I just threw a bunch of them in there because I was like, I don't want to forget them. But then I put like my top picks right at the front, but then the other ones, I'm like, I could switch any of these in at any point. So yeah, that's what that is. But this is like my tentative beginning TBR, and I still haven't done the vertical spine just because I've been lazy and haven't felt like looking at bookshelves, and then also reading the first paragraphs of 3 books I also haven't done. But also it's not for 10 more days, so I have time. This is not, I don't feel like that's not that organized, because thankfully G is very kind, and she gives transcripts, so it was super easy just to copy and paste from the transcript, and that's where I got all of this from. So then it was super easy just to look at the prompt and then throw something in there. And basically also what I did is I just, if there were books that I had been thinking about really wanting to read, I started throwing them, I made a shelf and started throwing them into there. And so then I was just almost exclusively looking at this shelf and trying to pull books through here. So it actually wasn't that hard. It maybe looks like I did more work than I did. Like, this hardly took any time, but I could maybe see how it looks more than it does. I might try to, I don't know. I don't know if I want to try to get 2 picks for every book before the challenge starts, or if that's a little crazy. Because I'm like, what if I DNF something? I'll want something right away to fill in its place, but maybe that's not necessary. But every book in this first column is unique, but I have a lot of books in this second column that are not unique, and like, if like looking for group is right here, but I'm pretty sure looking for group is also up here, like, yeah, it's right here. So this was trying to just kind of help me make sure I could really get the books that I wanted to read next month in there. Anyway, that's what that was. Kiss of Steel. I do really want to read this. I don't know that I think it will be very good, but I really want to read it. Steampunk, romance, fantasy, vampires, paranormal romance, historical, urban fantasy, historical romance. Doesn't it sound fun? And I love Soulless by Gail Carriger, so I'm always down for like a vampire steampunk book. Um, Blade is known as the master of rookeries. No one dares to cross him. Um, when Honorora, when Honoria shows up at his door, his tenuous control comes close to snapping. She's so innocent, and he doesn't see her backbone of steel, or is it that she could be the very salvation that he's been seeking? Um, it just sounds fun. I don't know. I don't think this will be a 5-star read for me, but it just sounds fun. Also, I did read The Iron Duke, and the sex scene was rape. It was awful. I hated it so much. It was fucking horrific. So, and everybody loves it. Everybody's like, yeah. I love it when a woman says, please, no, stop. And the man's like, no, I can't control myself. And I'm like, no, I don't like that. So I'm hoping this one doesn't have rape. I feel like that's a small ask, but, anyway. Oh no, the first part was easy to read, and then I got to 50%, and I didn't want to put it down, and then I got to 85%, and I just wanted it to end. Um, anyway, I feel like this could very easily be like a 4-star so fun, or like a DNF, because it's just not good. But either way, I've been wanting to read it for so long, Beck McMaster, and it's such a long series. Ooh, I did not realize she was Australian. But it's a very long series. Oh no, it's not. It's only 5 books. I thought it was a lot longer than that for some reason. So, we'll see. Anyway. Yeah. Well, it's like a steampunk. It's very... I don't know. They're all kind of the same, you know. But I think I do own this one, maybe. I'm pretty sure. Maybe I don't. I don't remember. But if I do, I got a secondhand. But I've been meaning to read this for like 8 million years. And by 8 million years, I mean a long time. So, and it's very much a fall book to me. And it's fantasy, historical fiction. What else was it? Oh, romance. Duh. Fantasy, historical fiction. Yeah, I guess that's it. And it is autumn all the way. I need to read this in the autumn. And like, who knows? But yeah, Soulless is peak. Just Soulless. The rest of the series can actually go fuck off. But Soulless is peak. Okay. Alrighty. I'm gonna take a very quick little break, just refill my water and go to the bathroom. So if anybody wants to get up, stretch your legs, get a snack, go to the bathroom, everything, feel free to do that. I'll be back in like 2 minutes. Okay. I'm back. Oh, no, I just went to... Oh, no, I hope you didn't leave, Audrey. If you did, I'm so sorry. No, I just went to the bathroom and stuff, and I turned the mic off so you can hear me, like, rummaging around. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. I was just trying to spare you all. But I hope you didn't leave. I can't remember. Is Dreamer's Pool the one that... When did Kara read this? I couldn't remember if this was the one that... Kara just read. She just read one of hers. And I couldn't remember which one it was. Ooh, that sounds good. Ooh, I'll have to look at that. Which one did she just read? Which? Did she not mark it? No, yeah, she read this one a long time ago. I wonder which one she read. The Swan's Fairy Tale. Oh, yeah, that's the Seven Waters. I just watched a video about her talking about it, one of her books. I don't know which one it was, though. Which I did try to read the first Seven Waters book. It's still on my TBR. It will be down there a little bit, but I'll need to get back into it because it was a long time ago. Daughter of the Forest. This one looks good, though. By examining the ways that fairy tales have shaped our expectations of disability, Disfigured will point the way toward a new world where disability is no longer a punishment or impediment, but operates instead as a way of centering a protagonist and helping them to cement their own place in a story, and from there the world. Sounds good. I did just watch Dune for the first time, and I did like it a lot, but I did not like the Harkonnens. I did not like how they were portrayed at all. I thought it was very icky to be like, we can tell the bad guys because they're fat and bulgy and have weird lumps on them, and that makes you evil. And I'm like, really? That's the shorthand we're going for when, Dune came out in, 2021 or something? Like, what is this? What is this? Odd choice, in my opinion. I enjoyed most of the movie, but that part I definitely did not enjoy. But the people we like? Oh, don't worry, they're pretty. Okay. Dreamer's Pool. In exchange for helping escaping her long and wrongful imprisonment, embittered magic healer Blackthorn has vowed to set aside her bid for vengeance against the man who destroyed all that she once held dear. Followed by a former prison mate, a silent hulk of a man named Grim, she travels north. There she'll live on the fringe of a mysterious forest, duty-bound for 7 years to assist anyone who asks her for help. It sounds great. I love me a Blackthorn and Grim novel, yeah. I think this one was the one that I heard Kara talking about. But it does. It sounds like it sounds like a fairy tale, and I'm into it. Fantasy, romance, historical fiction. I wonder if it actually is historical fiction or if it just kind of feels historical, you know? I guess I'll put it in that based off of what people say, but it doesn't say that it's like set in the real world. Like, isn't it a fantasy world? Like, I've never heard of this. Is this a real place that I'm just... Oh, it's a Gaelic kingdom. Okay, I guess it is real. Never mind. Never mind. It is historical fiction. Okay. I've just never heard of it. Fantasy, romance, historical fiction. What vibe does it give, though? You know? Her dress is so pretty. It's very reminiscent of the Accolade, you know? I don't know how to spell that. The Accolade painting. Look at that. You tell me that this was not the inspiration for this artist to paint this dress. You tell me that. See, you can't. Not that other books have, or not that other dresses haven't looked like this throughout history, but especially like romanticized versions of dresses like this, but you know. I had this on my wall as a teenager for years. So pretty. Okay. I think that maybe it gives like some winter and spring vibes. I think that's a good vibe. Okay, Paper Magician. So this is one that I've been wanting to read for a really long time and I thought sounded super great, and then I just found out, like literally last month, that the author is Mormon. And that really colors what you know, that really colors whether or not I want to read it, you know, because I really, really hate Mormonism. So Sienna Twill arrives at the cottage of magician Emery Thane with a broken heart. Having graduated at the top of her class from the Tagus Praff School for the magically inclined, Sienna is assigned as an apprenticeship in paper magic, despite her dreams of the spelling metal. And once she's bonded to paper, that will be her only magic forever. You've only heard great things about it and got it on Kindle when it came out, but never read. Okay. I didn't realize it was young adult. I have this on my adult shelf because, I don't know if you remember this, Allie, I read it. I bought it with you physically. I'm pretty sure. Or maybe I didn't, but I'm pretty sure I did. I don't remember though. But I bought it at the book barn, and I was so excited to find it. And then now I'm finding out that the author is Mormon, and I'm like, oof. But I do already own it, so it's like, oh, well, then I might as well read it. It feels like updated review. Okay, let's see what Rachel says, because I love Rachel and I really trust her reviews. Desperately sad that she doesn't make videos anymore. The writing style was noticeably uninspiring and flat during the middle part of the book, during endless, repetitive action sequences that failed to be dynamic and exciting. One character, most notably the villain, remained two-dimensional and lacked motive. Specifically, I do not recall any mention of a strong, reasonable motive. Okay, and it's romance heavy, apparently. Okay. Yeah. I don't know if this was one of the ones. I remember very distinctly another series that I did buy with you, but I know I bought this at the book barn, and it's sitting right behind me, and I have the whole trilogy, so I feel like I should try it, but finding out last month that oh, there's 4 books apparently. Oh, well, I only have the first 3. Anyway, I just saw a review of it from a Mormon newspaper website or whatever, and it was very Mormon. She's very Mormon. She was raised as a Trekkie alongside 3 sisters. Is BYU alumni. Okay. And I have another book on my TBR by her. So, I actually didn't realize this was even a female author until I just clicked through just now. I thought it was a man. Yeah, Colonnati's so good. She made such good videos. I loved, and I definitely watch people for the personality and not for the content. I do watch for the content too, but I watch for the person. The person is what keeps me coming back. So it's I was there watching the garden videos, and I wanted to watch all the things. I wanted to watch the Stitchin' Bitches, which I know she still does. But I wanted to watch the other things. I didn't want to just watch the reviews, even though the reviews were very good. I was invested on how she organized her books and how she was going to get everything to fit and everything. What about this one? Those property is uninhabitable, with its door slamming shut and locking behind him. I'll get to it eventually. I didn't add this to more recently. I didn't even realize this was the same author. Oh, Kalanati. And I was looking at her booktube a couple days ago, and it's like indefinite hiatus, and I'm like, but why? Come back. Like, maybe I should add something to my TBR that she loved recently. Detective Auntie. I've seen that one around, and it doesn't particularly... I read the synopsis, and it didn't particularly speak to me. She only gave Murder by Memory 3 stars. Fuck you, Rachel. Oh, a drop of corruption. See, Robert Jackson Bennett, it's coming around. Everything is tuberculosis. The Tainted Cup. Let's see. A Bride Story. Ugh. Just rating manga, long manga series. Oh, Jessica Rue. So good. Very good illustrator. I love her art. Okay, I'll stop. But I'll definitely have to browse through and maybe put some of them on my TBR. Okay. I will try to give this one a shot, but if I don't like it, I'll unhaul the whole series. I just wish I hadn't found out about the author. Also, kind of specifically more, it's like, well, why does it matter if they're Mormon? Like, one, because the Mormon church is, like, ultra bigoted. I was, like, taught I believed until I was 18 that, like, black people, like, people of color would turn white in heaven. Like, that's not okay. Like, there's many reasons I could go on a 1,000,000-year rant about everything that I hate about Mormonism. Like, it's just an ultra bigoted religion. 2, they tell people, they demand that you give 10% of your income to the church in order to get to heaven. And if you don't give 10% of your income to the church, then you don't get to heaven. So I also just feel hesitant about giving money to Mormon authors. But I'm like, I already own it and I bought them secondhand. But I just don't like giving money to Mormons because then I know that 10% of that money is going to a church that has hundreds of billions of dollars that they're hoarding. And that's my 2 cents. So you're like, this is kind of like nitpicky. Like, you may have been thinking, this is kind of nitpicky. Why do you not like that this author is Mormon? But it's like many layers of like why I personally do not. Fantasy, romance, historical fiction. Cool. I'll try it. I already own it. I was just really bummed when I found that out. I guess it gives me like fall, winter vibes. Okay, Stitching Snow. And notably, some of these books don't have like great ratings. So it will be good to try them because then I can like maybe just DNF and get them off. This cover is actually very cool. I like this it makes me, yeah, it's like a bunch of like musical stuff, right? Is that what that is? Okay, Princess Snow is missing. Her home planet is filled with violence and corruption in the hands of King Matthias. What a name. And his wife as they attempt to punish her captors. The king will stop at nothing to get his What? Oh. Okay. All the question marks are just mistakes. I was like, this is the craziest thing. I think they're like colons and semicolons and shit. The king will stop at nothing to get her daughter back. Get her daughter back. But that's assuming she wants to return at all. Essie has grown used to being cold. Temperatures on the planet Thandra are always sub-zero, and she fills her days with coding and repairs for the 7 loyal drones that run the local mines. When a mysterious young man named Dane crash lands near her home, Essie agrees to help the pilot repair his ship. But soon she realizes that Dane's arrival was far from accidental, and she's pulled into the heart of a war she's risked everything to avoid. In her enthralling debut, R.C. Lewis weaves the tale of a princess on the run from painful secrets and a poisonous queen. What's the galaxy's future and her own? With the galaxy's future and her own in jeopardy, Essie must choose who to trust in a fiery fight for survival. Is anybody here a Goodreads librarian? Who can fix this? That's crazy. Oh, that's so funny. That's really funny. I like to imagine that they're meant to be there. Okay, so they're not supposed to be music notes, but just technology looking shit, I guess. Like a motherboard or something. But doesn't it look like a music note? Like this one. Looks like a fucking 8th note. I'm just trying to see if any of these, like, on a glance sway me one way or another. And they don't. I think it sounds interesting enough to try. So, I'm gonna try it. I know, I'm not a Goodreads librarian. I don't even know how to become a Goodreads librarian. Fantasy, sci-fi, romance. Okay. I mean, it's always cold. So maybe winter? Or should it be summer? One of the extreme opposites. It's like I should read this to get the vibes outside. Or actually, now I live in a place that it's never cold outside. Or when it's blistering hot. And I'm like, do I want to pretend that it's cold outside? Or do I want to pretend that it's cold outside? Sci-fi, romance, and fantasy. Nice. I'm trying to think about what my cutoff date for a classic would be. Maybe like 60 years? Because there's like modern classics that I would want to put as a classic, right? But then there's also some things that I'm like, oh, this doesn't feel like old enough to be a classic. But I don't know. Like Fahrenheit 451. Like you would say that was a classic. And that's only from the 50s. So 70 years? Little Prince? 80 years? I would say that, like, it's interesting. Like, this is like almost, it's like a 45-year-old sci-fi now. And it's like kind of known as classic sci-fi now. I don't know. Like, I don't think I would consider this a sci-fi, like a classic at this point. But maybe in another 10 years I would. I don't know. Yeah. But also some kids are like having to read very modern books in school, like The Hate You Give or things like that. So I don't know. It's interesting. Never being called out would be so hard for you. Yeah. It's only been getting down to like, I don't know. It will get down to like 40 or 50. But considering there were days that like I was outside when it was like actively snowing on me and 20 degrees or colder and my hands were freezing off and I was having to scoop off a foot of snow off my car to go to work in the morning, I'm like, 40 is not cold. Anyway, my point being is like, Hyperion kind of feels like classic sci-fi. But it's only from like 1990. So I guess it's not yet. But maybe eventually it will be. But Foundation, I guess I should put as a classic because it's from 51. That's 75 years old. I guess that's a classic. It's interesting. It's just something I've been thinking about is like, what is the period of time cutoff? And like, I Capture the Castle. I guess that's a classic now. I don't know. Little Fuzzy. I guess that's a classic. 1962. Anyway. I'm scared of Hyperion. I tried to read, maybe last year, maybe the year before, the Canterbury Tales. I did not enjoy trying to read those. I only got like 5% in. They're very long. So, I don't think I'm going to be doing that in order to read this. I'm just going to have to read it on its own. On the world called Hyperion, beyond the law of the hegemony of man, there waits the creature called the Shrike. There are those who worship it, there are those who fear it, and there are those who have vowed to destroy it. In the valley of the time tombs, where huge brooding structures move backwards through time, the Shrike waits for them all. On the eve of Armageddon, with the entire galaxy at war, 7 pilgrims set forth on a final voyage to Hyperion. seeking the answers to the unsolved riddles of their lives. Each carries a desperate hope and a terrible secret, and one may hold the fate of humanity in his hands. I don't know why it's so... I totally get that, Lindsay. Like, I don't know why it's so horrifically intimidating to me. Maybe this is why. Look at this. Hugo Award for Best Novel, Locus Award for Best Science Fiction Novel, Arthur C. Clarke Award nominee, British Science Fiction Association Award nominee for Best Novel, Premio Ignotus Award Novella, SF... Like, as so many awards, it's so well regarded, like, and it's not even that old. Like, I thought it was older than it was because it's so loved and appreciated and well renowned and, like, everything. I think it's scary. Okay, Jen almost DNF'd it and then decided to round it up to a 5-star because she loved it so much. So that's good, maybe to push through. Emily only liked the first and fourth story. Okay, look away if you don't want to see this spoiler. I want to see this spoiler. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, I think I'll give it a read, but I'm scared. Science fiction, fantasy. Sometimes I wonder if things are like actually fantasy or actually science fiction, or if they're like just classed that because people just put things in the genres for the heckins of it, you know? So, that's my thoughts. I don't know if I trust. Okay. Science fiction, fantasy, horror. Horror? I didn't know this had any horror elements. Yeah, I'm almost always down for like some type of spoiler. I don't know. It kind of depends. If it's something that I didn't think that would ruin the book. Like, I'm pretty sure learning that there's like one female character and her purpose in the story wouldn't ruin the book. And I don't think it did. I'm okay. And I think I would be more likely to enjoy it knowing that going in. I feel like spoilers oftentimes help me enjoy the book going in. And I don't do it anymore. Really, I think mostly just because I think because I can speed up audiobooks and so I can get through stuff a lot quicker, I don't do it anymore. But having to listen to like all like 10 or 20 hours of a book or whatever growing up, not sped up, I used to read ahead and spoil myself all the time. Like, because I've always listened to audiobooks ever since I was a little kid, and so I'd take out because I couldn't read till I was like 8 or 9, and even then my literacy was super low because I wasn't really taught how to read. I kind of taught myself how to read when I was 8 or 9, because I felt very stupid every time I was in church, and they'd be like, Giselle, will you read this out? And I'd be like, I can't read. Like, so finally I taught myself how to read. And, but even then, like, my literacy was very low, and my I just very much struggled, and so I mostly listen to audiobooks. And I still love audiobooks, and I'm a auditory learner, so it just helps. But I would often check out the physical book and the audiobook from the library, and I'd be listening to it or whatever. But then if I was like not enjoying something, or if I was like, is this going to be worth continuing with or whatever, then I would like grab the physical book and I'd like skip ahead to like a few chapters to like see like, maybe does this character die, or is this thing that I don't like gonna be resolved, or like blah blah blah. And now I don't feel like the need to do that as much now, I guess, because I have it sped up, so I get to those things quicker. But I think without that, I would probably still be doing that without sped up books. I think that's probably the reason why I stopped. Not that I'm against spoiling myself, but just that I don't really feel the need because things come quicker. But I oftentimes used to read the last couple pages of books like halfway through the book, so I'm like, do I like how this book's gonna end? Oh, okay, I do. I'll keep going. Do I like how this book's gonna end? No, I don't. Okay, I'm not gonna finish it. I did that all the time as a teenager because I'm like, I didn't have the time to be reading. I was really busy. Some people add horror if they find it to be gross or horrific scene. Okay, that's fair. I agree. Yes, I also agree that sometimes horrors can make me more excited or horrors. Spoilers can make me more excited for something. Yeah. I agree. And also, like, when I watch a movie with Chris or something, like, we've been watching through the Alien series together, and he watched them first, and then we were watching them together later. And so then as we've been watching them, he'd be like, oh, a jump scare is gonna happen soon, or something scary happens soon, or like things that like wouldn't, you know, to take away from the integrity. Like, he wouldn't tell me like everybody who dies at the end, or like the moral dilemma of this movie, or like things like that. But he would just like help diffuse my like anxiety about situations or whatever, and that makes horror much more enjoyable for me, especially in like visual settings. Like, audiobooks are a lot better for me, or reading's a lot better for me, because like I can't visualize stuff. I have aphantasia, total blackness. I can't visualize things. But seeing something is like much scarier for me. Like, I get a lot more scared. Whereas like reading something isn't as scary for me, because I like the suspense can still like scare me or whatever, but I can't like picture it, so it's not as bad reading. But getting jump scared is not something I like. So if he can tell me like there's gonna be a bunch of jump scares in the next 5 minutes, then I just know to like take my adrenaline down, which is nice. Yeah, it's so nice. I love that he does that for me. Yeah, jump scares are the worst. I hate it. So that made watching all the Alien movies. We just finished the last one. We watched Romulus maybe 2 weeks ago or something, and now we'll start watching the show probably. I mean, he's already started watching it, but now I'll probably start watching with him in a couple weeks, and he'll be able to tell me when all the scary things are about to happen, because I don't like the suspense and the jump scares, but I can read it better. Okay, science fiction, fantasy, horror. I don't know what the vibe of this book is. I guess like all year. I don't know if it really has a specific vibe for me. Yeah, as I've started to get into horror, I would say like the first horror thing that I've really experienced and enjoyed and stuff was Stranger Things. And then as I've gotten into horror, like with reading and stuff, it's definitely like gotten me better at enjoying like horror movies and shows and other things and stuff. But I remember when we first started watching Stranger Things, I was like, oh, this is really scary for me. And Chris was like, it's not even horror. And I was like, yes, the fuck it is. Shut up. It is horror. I'm like, I love Stranger Things, but it is horror. And now I read a lot of horror, and I love horror, but I could not read horror a few years ago. You used to avoid all the horror, and in the past years you realize there are so many horror subgenres like that you enjoy, like cosmic horror, creature horror, and so on. I think I like cosmic horror a lot. I don't know what subgenres of horror I like, really. I need to figure that out. I don't know which ones I really do like and which ones I don't, because I haven't read enough, but because I'm still getting into it. I think I like, what I do know I like is sci-fi horror. I'm like, give me scientists in horror, which I think also is why I like the alien movies and stuff. Why I have enjoyed watching those is because I'm like, oh yes. I mean, I didn't enjoy Alien 2 or 3 or 4 that much, but all the rest of them. So Aliens, Alien 3, and Alien Resurrection. But the rest I really liked, especially the 5th one and the 6th one. Very good. Anyway, because it's like a bunch of scientists and stuff, and I think that's very fun. I feel like there is gotta be, like, is there a better like English version of this? This cover's so ugly. Of 5 Weeks in a Balloon. Is this oh no. It's giraffes. I was like, are these dinosaurs? What the fuck? I did, I don't know. I guess my first cover is fine, but it's just, it's not very inspiring. I think it's deceiving too, because it says it's 400 pages, and this one says it's 200 pages and 300 pages. They're all like drastically different sizes for some reason, so. Um, oh yeah, comedy horror definitely is my, um, that's how I feel about like movies and stuff too, though. It's like I really like The Guy Who Didn't Like Musicals, like that musical, which is not a movie, but that musical stage production, and it's so fun, and I enjoy some other Star Kid stuff, and like I do like a comedy horror. I still haven't read Shirley Jackson. I don't even know if I have any Shirley Jackson on my TBR. I think I've been meaning to add some, and I haven't yet. Oh my god, I can't spell. The thing is I don't really know what to add. I think I'm kind of intimidated by her. So I have watched The Haunting of Hill House. I have watched everything by that creator. All of those shows. Or Hill House, or whatever it's called. Yeah. Mike Flanagan. Oh, that's what he looks like. Sorry. I just didn't expect him to be, you know, like an older white man, you know? He does great stuff, though. So, his series, I want to... Just because, like, if you showed me a picture of him and you were like, do you want to watch stuff created by this man? I'd be like, I don't know. Anyway. But I've watched... Actually, I have not watched The Haunting of Hill House, have I? Don't think I have. I think I've watched The Haunting of Bly Manor, and I don't think I actually ended up watching The Haunting of Hill House. Because I think maybe Chris said it would be too scary for me, and so I never did. I think I've watched everything else by him, though. I've watched all of these, and I love them. They're so good. I'm gonna be forever mad that the Midnight Club didn't get a second season. Midnight Mass was so good. I've been thinking about rewatching that. Fall of the House of Usher was so good. I definitely watched Bly Manor. I've read the book, The Turn of the Screw. I hated it. I thought it was terrible. But yeah, I actually never did watch this. So maybe I should read that book before I watch the show. I forgot that I never did watch this one. I just assumed I had. But I never did. Because Chris said it was too scary at the time. And he didn't want me to be scared. And it was actually my idea to watch... to watch Bly Manor. And Chris was really surprised that I wanted to watch it because he's like, it's really scary. I think it's going to be too scary for you. And I was like, but I really want to watch it. It's gay. So, things have really changed since ye olden days. 2013. When I was like, this has a gay person in it. Don't check it out. And then, like, jumped to, like, 2020. And I was like, but it's gay. Watch it with me so I won't be scared watching it on my own. Hill House. An occult scholar looking for solid evidence of a haunting. Okay. Yeah, okay. I'll add this to my TBR. What else should I watch? I've heard of The Lottery. Should I just go with The Lottery and Other Stories? We have always lived in the castle. This cover scares me. Into a deep labyrinth of neurosis. Deliciously unsettling novel about perverse, isolated, and possibly murderous family and the struggle that ensues when a cousin arrives at their estate. I guess I'll add it too. What should I do? Should I add The Lottery? Should I add The Lottery and Other Stories? Which one should I add? I guess The Lottery and Other Stories. I love a short story. Like, I've always liked reading short story collections, but, you know, I was reading, like, YA short stories and blah, blah, blah. Getting into, like, adult short stories has been great. I'm currently reading... the Jorge Luis Borges collected fictions. And it's so good. I don't know why I said it like that. I'm so sorry. It says 1979, but yeah, that's not, or 1979, sorry, 1998, but that's not real because, that's just all of them collected, but it's actually like all of his collected stuff together throughout time. So it's like stuff from the 40s and the 90s and the 70s and the 30s. It's like everything together. It's like the collected fictions. I'm really liking it. I really like Jorge Luis Borges. I'm like 75% of the way through this, and I'm very into it. It's been so hard to try to talk to like people about this, because they're so short that I just don't feel like you can talk really about any of his stories without like spoiling them, because sometimes they're like 1 page, or even his longest ones are only like 30 pages. They're very short, they're very easy to dip in and out of, but they're like very impactful, very thought-provoking, they're very mind-bending, so interesting. And some of them are written in English originally, I think, but most of them are written in Spanish originally. So do with that information with what you will. If you speak Spanish, maybe you would rather read them in Spanish originally. I do not have that ability, so I've been reading them in English, and it's been interesting. I mean, I've liked the translation for the most part, and I like the narrator, but there's some stuff where I'm like, I wonder what word was originally used, because there's like a couple stories where the N word has been used, and I mean, I'm trying to give it some grace, because it's like, I mean, not that me as a white person needs to give it grace exactly, but it's like, it's translated, and it's from like, the story was like from the 50s, so I'm like, I don't know what this means, like, but, or like the G slur for like Romani people was used, stuff like that, one of the stories and stuff like that. So that's like kind of the only thing that I'm like, dang it, I wish I could read this in like the Spanish and kind of know maybe the intent a little bit more. But they've been so good for the most part. I finally read a story though last night that I hated. It was so gross. Anyway, but most of the part, my favorite stories have been I really did like The House of Asterion. That one was really good. But the point being is I really like short story collections, and I want to be reading more of them. I thought this was very accurate. It's not a full book though. You could just like read one story. And this is the full collection, but you could like read some of the shorter collections if you wanted. He could deliver more plot and twists in 2 to 5 pages than many authors do in 300. Every page will blow your mind, and as you lose yourself in the brilliant labyrinth of his woods. And I thought that was like a very good description of Borges. I've been really enjoying reading this, and I just think they're very, very brilliant. I agree with that. Just such a freaking interesting author, and the Aleph was so interesting. I've been thinking about that one a lot. I read that one a while ago, though, maybe like a month ago. I've been thinking about the problem is I haven't really been paying attention to the names. I'm like, I've been thinking about the one with like the 2 knives in the case. I've been thinking about the one with, I don't know. I could tell you, but then it would be like plot holes. So I think maybe at the end I'll try to get my hands on the physical copy of the book, and then like go through. I think I'm gonna buy a physical copy of the book and then go through and like mark all my favorite ones just by like skimming through and like putting some tabs on them, and then I can like write up a list of my favorites. because it's hard when there's like hundreds of stories in this collection because some of them are so short. But anyway, it's been very good. All for the first time in English, all the fiction by the writer who's been called the greatest Spanish language writer of our century. Anyway, he's an Argentine author, and they're very good. I love it. This has been so good to read. Okay, I'll stop. So I am excited to read some short stories. I do love a short story. 5 weeks in a balloon. Where were we? I have been feeling like I needed to read this for so long. But I wonder... I don't know. I'm interested. Captain Nemo. Let's see. The Search of the Castaways, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, The Mysterious Island. Okay. So, I have read Around the World in 80 Days, but many, many years ago. Like, probably 2008-ish. 9-ish. Like, I was definitely around, I don't know, middle school age. And that's the only thing I've read by him. I don't remember it at all. I don't know if I'm interested in reading this. Like, is Jules Verne worth reading? Has anybody read Jules Verne? Chime in. Are any of his books worth reading? Chime in. Should I reread Around the World in 80 Days? Is anything worth reading? I feel like I've heard people say that this book is racist. I don't know. I definitely would not have been the judge of that because I was racist when I was a kid. I think I'm just gonna delete this. I don't know if there's anything that, like... There was a large audience assembled on the 14th of January. England has always marched at the head of nations. For the reader will observe the nations always marched at the head of each other. By the intrepidity of her explorers in the line of geographical discovery. Dr. Samuel Ferguson, one of the most glorious sons, will not reflect discretion on his origin. What the fuck? That's such a terrible description of the book. So basically, I think it's somebody going up in a hot air balloon for 5 weeks. But... Five Weeks in a Balloon is Verne's first novel. It is in measure a satire on modern books of African travel. So far as the geography of the inhabitants, the animals, and the features of the countries the travelers pass over are described, it is entirely accurate. It gives some particulars of survey of nearly a whole field of African discovery, and in this way will often serve as a fiction. I don't think I want to read this. I don't think I care about learning about that from Jules Verne in this like fictional book. I don't think I care about reading any other Jules Verne books. I guess the one that if I had to choose another Jules Verne book to read, maybe Journey to the Center of the Earth would seem most interesting, just because I feel like I remember when I watched the movie, there were dinosaurs in it. No, not this movie. Wasn't there an older movie? Was it that old? No. Was there an 80 movie? No, this is not the one I'm thinking of. Is this the one I'm thinking of? Yeah, I think this is the one I'm thinking of. I feel like when I watched this movie, there were like dinosaurs. Yeah, don't those look like dinosaurs? Wow, look at them. Oh, God. Look at that dinosaur. This is so fun. So I feel like that's maybe the reason that I'm like, oh, I could read this one. Films about dinosaurs. See, it came up. But I don't know if they're actually in the book. That's what I only thought. Why do you take offense? Look at it. Look, it's a stegosaurus. You love a stegosaurus. You are a stegosaurus. Let's see. An adventurous geology professor chances upon a manuscript in which a 16th century explorer claims to have found a route to the Earth's core. Professor Lindenbrox can't resist the opportunity to investigate. With his nephew Axel, ooh, what an awful name. That's a very ahead of his time. Can you imagine? Axel definitely feels like a 20th century name, you know? I'm not 20th century, sorry. A 21st century name. But here he is. And then in the 19th century, Axel. He sets off across Iceland in the company of hens. I'm not going to say that. A native guide. Oh. Okay. The expedition descends into an extinct volcano towards a sunless sea, where they encounter a subterranean world of luminous rocks, something force, and fantastical marine life, a living past that holds the secret to the origins of human existence. Has an introduction from Kim Stanley Robinson. Very interesting. It does hold up well, even though in the almost 150 years since the publication, it feels quite novel. It's brilliant and superb. Axel. That's such an awful name. Wait, is that what you're taking offense to? Is Axel or to the dinosaurs? The book wasn't bad, but the characters were. The characters are flat. Okay. I think I will add this to my TBR. If I want to remove it in the future, I will. Oh. Subtitled A Study of Victorian Toxic Masculinity and the Wondrous Fortune Achieved in Spite of It. Oh, Kalinati said a flat, disappointing story populated with one-dimensional characters that I grew to dislike. The narrative is a whiny young man prone to fainting and with very little backbone who does not, in fact, want to go beyond this adventure. I hate his uncle, the scientist who is a pedantic, paternalistic know-it-all, so utterly absorbed in his own work and importance that he's obviously oblivious to the feelings and desires of people around him. Their guide, an Icelandic eider-down hunter, has zero personality and zero character development. Her journey to the center of the earth, it was a real letdown. They do not actually get to the center of the earth. Yes, the science is notably wrong. It's an old book, etc. But it's also, frankly, boring. 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea was much more fun. And it does have a higher rating, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. I don't know. I kind of have like a knee-jerk reaction against 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea because the movies, I guess. I don't know. I did not love that movie. Woof, this was pretty boring, but I'm sure I would have been super into it if I read this in 1870. I don't know. I feel very conflicted. Like, I don't want to give up on Jules Verne, but I feel like 5 Weeks in a Balloon is not the one for me, and I feel like the reason I wanted to read it was because it was his earliest published work, but I don't give a fig about it being his earliest published. I just, I don't know. So, my mom was deeply in love with the movie, The Mysterious Island, which I deeply hated. So, I'm a little icked out by this book. And then 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, I just never liked this movie growing up. I think my sister really did and would make me watch it as a kid at my grandma's house. And so I think that's why I have an aversion to it. Okay, I'll give this one a try. I'll trust Kalinati. I'll delete Journey to the Center of the Earth. Because maybe the characters suck and maybe I won't be able to get through it. And I'll delete 5 Weeks in a Balloon. Was that boring or what? Aren't you guys glad you're here with me? I just, it's hard to make decisions sometimes because it's like, oh, it's been on my TBR since 2014. It's hard to say no to it, but also like I don't want to read it. And it's like I felt like I should read it, but I don't want to read it. But I kind of want to read some of his other stuff. I don't know. In a land on the brink of peace, watched jealously by a ruthless cult from across the sea, and beset by a hidden enemies, 5 extraordinary humans must serve as sword and shield of the gods. Aurea is one. Her heroism saved a village from destruction. Now Aurea has been named Priestess of the White. The limits of her unique talents must be tested in order to prove her worthy of the honor and grave responsibility awarded to her. But a perilous road lies ahead, fraught with pitfalls that will challenge the newest servant of the gods, an enduring friendship with Dreamweaver, a member of the ancient outcast sect of sorcerer healers, could destroy Oraya's future, and her destiny has set her in conflict with a powerful and mysterious black-clad sorcerer, with but a single purpose. With but a single purpose, the total annihilation of the white, and he is not alone. I don't know. It sounds fine. I'm really just trying to, like, categorize all of these. I want to categorize my entire Goodreads TBR. I think it will be fun. And I want to bring you all along. I want to torture you all along with me. I don't know. Well, I feel like if I'm not jumping at it, that's probably an idea to put it down. And it's 600 pages. But it doesn't sound bad. But it doesn't sound amazing. And it's like with a I don't know. With like thousands of books that I want to read, am I so excited about this? And do I think this will be a 5-star read? And it's like, am I right about my 5-star reads? Do I accurately predict my 5-star reads? Like, no. I mean, I just read, and by just, I mean, like, in May, but, like, the new horror book by Mira Grant, and it's, like, one of the worst books I've ever read in my whole life. And Into the Drowning Deep is one of my favorite books of all time. So I was like, Mira Grant, surely I will love this. I've read over 10 books by Mira Grant. Surely I will love this. And then her new book, Overgrowth, trash. Trash, trash, trash. And I thought it would be 5 stars because I've already read 10 books by Mira Grant. I love her. I would have considered her maybe not a favorite author, but an author I really like. An author that I love. She's already written one of my favorite horror books of all time. And it's a plant horror that was coming out with Little Shop of Horrors vibes. Like, of course I was gonna love this. A sci-fi horror? Ugh, sounds so good. Fucking awful. Oh, look how pretty this cover is. I'm so mad. And it does not have good ratings. Like, look at these ratings. Like, it just came out in May, and it already has a 3.6. Because it sucked. So, I'm not a good judge of what I'll love. Because even if I'm, like, positive I'll love something. But I'm like, if I'm not positive I'll love something, why am I why am I gonna slug through? Plus, especially considering, if we look at my 5-star reads, which this is not up to date, I have not updated this shelf in like, over a year, probably 2 years. But if we go by number of pages, books that I've given 5 stars, this is not accurate, this is not actually this long. Code Girls, I gave 5 stars. Bitter Blue, I gave 5 stars. Leonardo da Vinci, I gave 5 stars. Those are the only 3 books over 600 pages that I've given 5 stars. if we add in books over 500 pages, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 books out of the 363 that are over 500 pages. And one of them is half pictures, so I don't even think it should count. I mean, not that it shouldn't count, because those pictures are valuable to the story. They are valuable to the story. It's not that they shouldn't count, but it's like, it doesn't really, really boost this number, I don't like long books. I struggle with long books. I like short books. I love a short book. That's my sweet spot, is like a short thing. So I think I should delete this. It makes me feel bad. Okay. Dune by Carrie Corp. Oof. Can you look at this without thinking of Sasha Alsberg? Carrie Corp and Lori Langdon. Tell me if you can see this and not see Sasha Alsberg. Okay. Dune. Veronica doesn't think she's going crazy. But why can't anybody else see the mysterious blonde boy who keeps popping up wherever she goes? That sounds scary. Whenever her best friend McKenna invites her to spend the summer in Scotland, Veronica jumps at the opportunity to leave her complicated life behind for a few months. Oh, it sounds terrible. Oh, I don't want to read that. Not my vibe anymore. I think I would have liked it if I read it 10 years ago. Probably. Maybe. But it's not for me anymore, I don't think. Umbria in Shadow. Okay, so I have not read a Patricia... You donated. Yeah, like, if I'd read it a long time ago, I'm sure it would have been great, but I never did, so rip to that book. Okay, Patricia A. McKillop. Never read one of her books. I own so many. I have her right behind my head. Okay, so I only own 3, but I also own a bunch on audio. And the reason for this fucking bitch. So the illustrator for her covers is my favorite artist, K.Y. Craft, Kanuki Y. Craft. So for like all of her books, pretty much, there's a cover that I love. So I'm like, I want to read them all. I don't know if this one has one. Some of them don't, that are by her, but most of them are by my favorite artist, and that's just mean. Yeah, I don't think these ones do. But like Alphabet of Thorns, my favorite artist. This one, my favorite artist. Yeah, I don't think this one did. But most of them I'm like, oh, this is my favorite artist, you meanie. Okay, this one's not either, but this one is not my favorite artist. But it's like, that's, oh, Odd Magic. This one is my favorite artist. Like, it's really hard for me to mentally separate the fact that I've never read any of these books, but I love the art so much, and I've read many of Kanuki Y. Craft's books. This is my favorite artist. This is my favorite artist. Also my favorite artist. Yes, indeed. Also by her. This is not only my favorite artist, but I think this might be my favorite piece by my favorite artist. And I have never read this book, but boy do I love it so much. It's so much the Lady of Shalott vibes. This one has the full, if you see the full cover, the dragon is like wrapped around. And it's so pretty. I don't know if I can find it. I don't know what it's called. Oh, no. That's not how it's gonna come up. Look at it. It's so cool. It's like wrapped all the way around down here. There's like armor and like all these things, and there's like this window portal thing, and it's just like so beautiful. I love her stuff. It's just so detailed, and it's so glowy and golden and gorgeous, and it's like I love her artwork so much. So my point being, oh, this is not her, but I do know this artist. This is the artist that does a bunch of the anthologies by, the ones by, oh gosh, what are they called? Dalto or whatever? Black Heart, Ivory Bones? Ilan Daltlo. It's the same artist, though. I do like this artist. I just wouldn't call her my favorite of all time. Anyway. So, I would never be able to delete a book by McKillop, even though I've never read one. Because I'm just so attached to the covers. I'm like, I don't even care what this is about. Anyway. Very long tangent that nobody asked for, nobody cares about. But look how pretty it is. And look at the detail on the fan and the detail on the dress and like the sheer like ruching up here. It's like this is like a sheer like lace thing that comes up to connect to the collar of the necklace. Ugh, so pretty. And the beautiful way that she manages to do these curls. Detail on the curls. All the detail on these poles. Like look at the face up here. Like, ugh, this rose is stunning. Look at this sheer fabric and like the way it like goes down, like, and goes around the wrist. Like everything that she paints is just like immense detail and beauty and gorgeous, and I just cannot. Anyway, fantasy. It's just straight fantasy. It's a fairy tale fantasy type thing. Maybe I'll pick it up eventually soon. Oh. And I don't know what vibe it gives because I didn't read what it was about. I'll just say that I'll read it anytime, and maybe that will make me pick it up at some time. Little Fuzzy by H. Beam Piper. Look at this fucking cover. Do you see these little fucking things? So, Little Fuzzy is, if you don't know, Fuzzy Nation by John Scalzi is based on this book. Fuzzy Nation is one of my favorite sci-fi books, and it's based on this. And so I've been wanting to read this because I thought it would be fun. I don't think it's going to be as good, but it's not, the way that he based it is that he literally got permission, and other people have also gotten permission from the estate of this author after this author died. So they got permission from the estate. They went to them and said, hey, I really love this world and this series, like, could I please like write something set here? And they said yes, you can. I didn't realize how similar it was going to be though, because this sounds like the same plot, so I'm interested if Fuzzy Nation is just a rewrite. It's very interesting, so I wonder what that's going to be. But I definitely want to read it. Sci-fi. I'm not going to put it as fantasy. I'm just going to put it as sci-fi based off of the other one that I've read. And I'm going to put it as a classic because it's an old sci-fi. Look at this cover. Look at this fellow. He's like eating lobsters. Okay. I am excited to read this. It's been sitting on my TBR for a long time, and I really need to get to it. Sci-fi and a classic, and I honestly love sci-fi all year round, but especially in the winter. And I'm also gonna put this in the spring because it is like a, I don't know, you're outside, you're prospecting and stuff. I might do the summer too. I'm just gonna do the summer. You can't stop me. I love Fuzzy Nation so much. It's so good. This cover is wild though. Okay, The Sin Eater's Daughter. Okay, so this book has very low ratings. I see this. And the reason I want to read it is because of let's see. Oh, Kara gave it 1 star. I remember when Roya, I think that's her name, Roya gave this a really high rating. I remember her Roya. I remember her like giving this a really high rating and talking about it, and like that making me want to keep it on my TBR, even though it is a YA fantasy that maybe otherwise I wouldn't be interested in. And now that I see Kara doesn't like it, I'm scared. Has anybody read this? Does anybody like this? I feel like you're the only one left here, Allie, maybe. But okay, I'll try to read the synopsis with fresh eyes. 16-year-old Twyla lives in the castle, but although she's engaged to the prince, no one speaks to her. No one even looks at her, because Twyla isn't a member of the court. She's the executioner. As a goddess embodied, Twyla kills with a single touch. So each week, she's taken to the prison and forced to lay her hands on those accused of treason. No one will ever love her. Who could care for a girl with a murder in her veins? Even the prince, whose royal blood supposedly makes her immune to her touch, avoids her. But then a new guard arrives, a boy whose playful smile belies his deadly swordsmanship, and unlike the others, he's able to look past Twyla's executioner robes and sees the girl, not the goddess. Yet a treasonous romance is the least of Twyla's problems. The queen has a plan to destroy her enemies, a plan that requires an unthinkable sacrifice. Will Twyla do what it takes to protect her kingdom, or will she abandon her duty in favor of a doomed love? I don't know what to do. 'Cause, like, I don't know. I don't want to waste my time on a book that isn't good. You hate political intrigue. I don't hate political intrigue. I think I like political intrigue, but I'm not sure, because I don't think I read a lot of it. This is even more incestuous than Game of Thrones? like that's a crazy thing to say. Lots of info dumping. Okay. Okay, I'm keeping this on my TBR because of Roya. I don't physically own it or anything, but I've been wanting to read it because of Roya, but I really hate incest books, so even if it's not like condoned or good or anything like that, it's just not something I love, so I think I'm okay to... It did say incestuous, right? It didn't say insidious or anything. I'm pretty sure it said incestuous. Either way, Kara didn't like it, and not that everything Kara does I have to like as well, but this cover's so pretty. Sorry, I just saw it on Roya's thing and I was like, I need to see it. Retellings, historical fiction, romance. I just don't want to lose it, so I'm going to add it, but I don't know if it's actually going to be worth looking at. Oof. Okay. Oof. Okay. My Man Jeeves. Okay, I definitely have to read this. Fiction, humor, short stories. It's just about a silly butler person. I don't know how much I'll like this, because it's like... Who can forget our beloved gentleman's personal gentleman? So it is like aristocracy, blah blah blah. Like, I don't know how much I'll love that, but also I have been enjoying the books by what's her name? Oh, what is her name? Dorothy Sayers? Dorothy Sayers. Whose Body? The Lord Peter Wimsey series. And I feel like it has a similar dynamic. So I feel like if I like it in here, maybe I'll like it in here. So Dorothy Sayers has a Lord Peter Wimsey is the detective, but then he's always like leaning on his manservant and stuff, and it has like this very fun dynamic. But oh, and My Man Jeeves has Leave It to Jeeves, Jeeves and the Unbidden Guest, Jeeves and the Hard-Boiled Egg, Absent Treatment, Helping Freddy, Rounding Around Old George, Doing Clarence a Bit of Good, and the Sluggard. I don't know. It's just supposed to be like fun, and I'll see if I like it, and if I don't, no harm, no foul. And I'm just gonna put it in classic because. Actually, I'm gonna put it in, just classic, sorry. Silly me. Classic, and I think it's, an all-year read. It's just fun and cozy. I can't believe I haven't read this yet. Steve Donahue gave me a beautiful edition of this book. I still haven't read it, so I feel very guilty about that. But I definitely recommend the Lord Peter Wimsey series. I've read a bunch of them. I've read 4 of them, I think? 3 of them. Not 4 of them, 3 of them. And I've really liked them. They're so fun. So, I'm gonna keep reading that series. Crown Duel. So I think this is the first... Yeah, this is just the first book. But it's also confusing because Crown Duel is also the name of the first and second book together. But I do just have the first book on there, it looks like. By Sherwood Smith, who I have never read, I don't believe, but is a very, very prolific author. and I own this book. A deathbed promise to their father sends a daring girl and her brother. Oh, I was like, non-binary protagonist? No, of course not. A deathbed promise to their father sends a daring girl and her brother off to war. Filled with intrigue, romance, and magic, this spellbinding novel is a dramatic coming-of-age story about a girl who rises from impoverished beginnings to take command of her own fate. Old YA fantasy, I feel like I'm much more likely to enjoy than like YA fantasy published between like 2007 to present. I feel like I'm more likely to like something published in the 90s because I feel like it kind of was more ageless. More like Tamara Pierce vibes, you know? Although this is YA fantasy from that time and I didn't like it, and this is YA fantasy from the time and I didn't like it, so maybe that's bullshit that I just said. What's that booktuber? She doesn't make books anymore. Who really liked the Inda series? Books anymore? God. Is her name Sarah? Oh, was that not her name? I feel so bad if that's not her name. It's not this person. Anyway. I don't know why I can't think of her name or her channel name or whatever. But she's kind of the reason I've been wanting to like keep this book on my shelves or whatever. But I think it's worth trying. And like I said, I do own it, so I can definitely try it and stuff. But I don't remember if the version I own is the bind up or not. I think it might be. But it doesn't have great ratings, as we see. Like, a lot of people were not loving it. But actually, it's okay. Like, it balances out. Fantasy and romance is what this is. And I don't know what kind of vibes this one gives me. Maybe like winter and spring. Let's try that. I know it doesn't look like we've made a lot of progress, but also we've deleted some books. And it's like, it is progress. Okay, Foundation. Another book I'm very scared of. But if I don't like it, I don't have to keep going. I feel like I'm too stupid to read it or something, you know? Isaac Asimov's classic science fiction masterpiece. But there's no way I'm not going to at least give it a try. So sci-fi classic is what I'm going to put this in. And let's put that in winter, because I love a sci-fi in the winter. The Golden Compass. Another book I'm scared of. I DNF'd this book twice, but not like hard DNFs where I'm like, oh, I give up on this book. I hate it. Remove it from my TBR. I've just like pittered out on it twice. I want to give it one more good try. Try to get to like the 20% mark. And if I don't like it, I don't like it. But this is one of Chris's favorite books. It's older than I am. I also kind of love the idea of reading this because I remember when I was around maybe 15, my mom she was reading some fear-mongering Christian shit on like some mommy blog or something, and she pulled me to the computer and she was like, you are never allowed to read this list of books because they're Satanist. And this book was on it. And I was like, okay, like, whatever. I'd already read one of the books on the list already, and I was just like, okay. And I didn't tell her that I'd already read it. It was, like A Great and Terrible Beauty by Libba Bray. This was the Satanist book I read as a teenager before she told me not to read it. But this one I hadn't read, and I was like, okay. But I kind of had that little bit of rebelliousness in me now. Like, plus I just want to read it because, like, it's one of Chris's favorite books. But I'm like, I kind of want to read it just to be like, okay, let's not fearmonger. It's silly for you to be like, they're trying to indoctrinate you with Satanism, when, like, you literally indoctrinated me every single second of every single day for, like, 20 years, so it's okay. Mari gave this 5 stars and has read it 3 times, so I feel like that is, like, the true testament of, like, an incredible book. If Mari loves something, then I feel like it's peak, you know? Even though she hasn't been updating her Goodreads this year, I know she's read stuff this year. She just hasn't been updating it. But, yeah. Okay, so I'm definitely going to give this a try, but I'm scared because I've already, like, pittered out twice. But it wasn't, like, from dislike. It was just kind of from, like, the first book is your favorite in the series. The first book in the series is your favorite. Yeah, looking back, it was wild times. Yeah, it's like everything is out to get us, and everything is scary, and everything is and it's like, gosh, how stressful is it to be like, I mean, like, I'm always scared now too, but like, for like real things. Not for like the devil trying to like tempt me. Like, you know, my mom's like, I remember being told, like, as a teenager or whatever, like, never get alone in the car with a man because like Satan will come over you and you won't be able to resist yourself and blah blah blah. Like, never get alone in a car with a man because you want to protect yourself, and men are very likely to commit crimes of sexual violence. So, like, if you're going to, here, take this pepper spray with you, or take these, like, take this protective thing with you, and just take care of yourself, and don't be afraid to, like, hurt someone to get away. It's not like protect yourself. It's like, no, don't get in a car with a man because you can't control yourself. Like, that is fucking wild. That's what I grew up with. Like, that kind of fear-mongering. It's like, no, I can control myself. Like, I was fine. Like, wild things like that. Oh. Okay. Fantasy. Do you think so since you have read this, it says to put it in science fiction as well. Do you think I should put it in fantasy and science fiction, or just fantasy? Because I didn't realize this was sci-fi as well. Or do you disagree with that? And this very much gives me winter vibes. But maybe I should put it in summer too, because that whole, like, maybe it would be better in the summer when I'm, like, most vibrant or whatever. Like, most, not that I'm vibrant and outside in the summer, but it's like, if I want to feel cold and, like, whew, like, maybe that would be a good time to read this book. So I think I'll put it in winter and in summer, and maybe I'll be inspired to pick it up next summer. Should I put it in sci-fi? Let me know your thoughts. I could always ask Chris too, but I'm really I would say it's fantasy. Okay, good. That's what I was thinking. I'd never heard anybody really refer to it as sci-fi. All right, I feel like we made really good progress. Thanks for hanging out with this. I'm like, we did over 15 books by far. I mean, there's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13 books left on this page. Plus, we deleted multiple. So, we did probably 20 books today, which is awesome. That's a lot. And my TBR did decrease, despite the fact that I added like 4 books to my TBR today. So, that is excellent. Although I do have a whole huge long list. I have like tons of screenshots of books that I've taken online that I want to add to my TBR. I don't want to do that until I don't want to do that. I don't want my TBR getting over 2,000, so I am trying to like not add a bunch of them until I start going through these. But like I said, I'm totally okay with DNFing and voraciously like cutting these down. But it's kind of hard about these oldest ones, because I'm like, oh, they've been on my TBR for so long. It's hard to get rid of them. Where like I feel if I get to the books that came out in like 2020, 2021, like the books that have been on my TBR for a while, but not that long, or maybe even the books that came out in like 2018 or something, like this book. I feel like I could easily get rid of this book. I could easily get rid of this book. I could easily get rid of this book. Like, so many of these books, I feel like I could dump off my TBR very easily and not think twice about it. Oh, so sorry about that. I think so many of these books I could get rid of and not think twice about it. I think it's going to be a lot harder at the beginning when they're books that, like, they're on my TBR for a reason. Like, I don't know if y'all remember, but I did do a huge TBR purge probably in 2020 where I deleted hundreds of books off my TBR. Probably like over 500, maybe more. I deleted a lot of stuff off my TBR many years ago, so a bunch of this kind of fluff from many years ago got trimmed, but now I could easily get rid of many more. Like, I don't want to read this. Probably. Dirty Bad Boy. Like, I don't want to read that. I'm just going to delete that now. But I think, like, the end and the beginning will be the hardest bits. But I think it's good to go through them for me, just because it kind of also was, like, reminding me and re-inspiring me about things that have been on here for a long time. And the things that I care the most about are, like, the things that are over 10 years old, which is up to this point right now. It's just under 100 books. So if I could keep books that are over 10 years old, under 100 books, I feel like that would be a good goal. Anyway, I think that's going to be it for today, though. So I really appreciate you hanging out with me. If you're watching this on the replay, thank you so much. I also appreciate that because I can chatter forever. And I didn't even just realize till just now when I looked at it that I've been streaming for 3.5 hours. So if you've been here for most of it, also, I really appreciate that. But I think you two are the only ones here right now, maybe Ellie and Lindsay. But thank you so much. I love you both. And yeah, I don't know how often I'll be streaming. It really depends on when Chris isn't in here using everything, and then also, like, because I'm in his office right now, because he works from home. It's not like he's just like, no, you can't be in my office, but it's like when he's not in here and just things line up, and then also when I'm not, like, feeling sick, because I still do get a lot of, like, pain and nausea and migraines and everything, so I'm like, I feel good, and then also, he doesn't, like, need the computer and things, so anyway, so when things line up, but maybe I could do another stream in, like, a week or so, and I'll try to figure out how to schedule it a few hours before, maybe, or at least an hour or half an hour before, so that like it will show up. I'll see if I can figure out how to do that. But anyway, I appreciate you all, and I will see you not in 2 years, but hopefully within the next few weeks for sure. Okay, goodbye everyone.